African rising, brothers and sisters. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Yes, hey, I want to share this video with you of Grandmaster Jay, who received a phone call from Congressman Higgins. How interesting. Being that on the 3rd of October, Grandmaster Jay and them will be down in Lafayette, Louisiana, standing with brothers and sisters in solidarity. But I would like to decode this conversation because it's a conversation of information, a conversation of intelligence, something that maybe you may not be familiar with or something that you may not be able to read between the lines. But as you see, I'm wearing my retired Air Force hat. Yes, not saying it proudly, but I say because I am tired. I am tired over again, retired, because of the fact that I have seen this time and time and time again. That they want to come try to sit at the table and have conversations when it gets you nowhere. In other words, trying to keep a little peace and keep you at bay or keep you in your place. Let's get into this video.
Call us if you potentially provide your number just for me to make an initial outreach contact. With what I had envisioned, what the Lord had put on my heart, was for you and I to perhaps have a private man-to-man. It could be in public, but just you and I sitting down and where I could respectfully listen to your position and your grievance, which you have the right to air. And we would let the Lord guide us. So that was my intention for the outreach. There's a lot of moving parts to this thing, and I understand that. However, it was important that I made the contact with you as soon as I could. And I received your number just about, less than an hour ago. I got to a place where I could call you. I made cast my first vote of the evening, and so here we are.
Well, Congressman, I want to thank you for finding it in your heart to not find it robbery to give me a call and us to finally talk one-on-one. As a citizen of the United States, you can imagine my concern that someone such as yourself, who has an illustrious history of supporting the Second Amendment and also sworn to uphold the Constitution, could find ourselves being human in the end. I would hope that you and I could sit down, as you say, man to man, and find it within our perspectives to come to some form of a mutual agreement that will be beneficial to the both of us, because I do believe that we're all human and we make mistakes. That we atone for those mistakes, but we also remember that because we're both public figures, and you, sir, are very public as I am, that we have a responsibility to our constituents to allay any concerns and show that there is some potential of unity at some point in the future, if not achievable today. I think that you, being a sitting congressman, would agree with me that it is in the best interest of both our communities that you and I do, in fact, not only privately sit down from one soul to another, but that publicly we give some display that we have, in fact, met and have come to a conclusion that this is something we can get past and that our people can begin to look forward to hope. I would hope that you would agree with me, Congressman.
Now, interesting so far. The congressman wants to sit down and have this conversation. All right, no problem. He wants to have a conversation. He wants to get to a place because he's heard of Grandmaster Jay and believes that he has a right to voice his grievance. Okay, but let me say something right here, because I'm sick and tired, y'all. I'm sick and tired because we have been manipulated as a people. Every time they use doggone Lord's name, God, and all this right here, this has always been a tool to calm the savage beast down. We have submitted, we have given up in our pursuit for freedoms every time they throw the Bible, Jesus, or God at us. It's like it's an intentional massage that they want to do to be able to control us when they want to now act like we're on even keel ground, that we are equal as a people when they want to throw up the Lord and God. They do it when it's in the court system, having the Bible exposed there. They do it when it's behind the podiums, when they've shot and killed our people. They do it so that it is something that I guess is like a hypnotic reaction that we have when we hear the Lord or God. It's ridiculous. Let's continue on with this right here.
I pretty much concur with you. It's almost like I wrote what you just said. So this, I believe, quite frankly, that even when gentlemen of solid core principles disagree, we still find the very common thread that weaves us as children of God together as one and as equals in the eyes of God, that we are men of principles, and when we take, as men that have a tendency to speak candidly, it's very easy to speak scripted and controlled, and you got 5 or 6 people telling you exactly what to say and when to say it, when to say nothing. I'm quite sure that every man that has been honest and outspoken and candid has been, through the course of his life, misunderstood or purposefully misreported. Now, perhaps you've been victim of that. I know that your organization was initially portrayed as violent, and that there was a lot of confusion about who was representative of your organization. I readily admit that I didn't get it. I mean, I wasn't tuned in to the level that some Americans were about what NFAC was and the type of gentleman that you are. That was an understanding I think the world has clarified, myself being no exception to that, over the course of the last couple of weeks. And when it was made clear to me by others, in my love and respect, that they themselves had come to understand the nature of your character, and you convey some things that were very impressive to me, just as a man, regarding your calm, poised approach to this very volatile situation. It's not just Lafayette. Our nation needs healing right now. So somehow, you and I find ourselves at a focal point, and I believe it's incumbent upon us to at least try to extend the gestures of love and peace, and have some private moments together where we can share our reflections and our visions for a hopeful future, and hopefully to submit ourselves to the Lord's will together.
All right, so it's there again, massaging the ego, or massaging one's so-called spirituality to bring them down to your level. Okay? See, if they can find a common ground that you have a likeness in them, then that's where they can get you. All right? That has always been the problem. See, we have been promised a bill of goods that ain't no good. We have been played like pawns in a chess game that always, for the sake of votes, we got to keep in mind, he's a congressman, he's looking for votes. All right? We have always been manipulated. Why is it now that we are equal as men, in the eyes of the Lord? See, this is something that we have to be aware of, because soon as they start to speak these words, it's like we lose our everlasting mind. We have to wake up to the truth that, number one, when just because somebody says Lord and God don't mean that they're speaking about the creator that we believe in. We have to begin to rediscover who the true living Yahweh is. We have to understand that, because if you want to be equal, then what happens is you have now been brought down to the immorality of these people who have done an injustice across the globe in the name of their God, in the name of their Jesus. Everything that is contrary to what the Creator is. So if you want to bring yourself down, your high esteem, your intellect, your great abilities, your high moral values, if you want to bring that down to their level, then do it. And that is the problem in the black community. We have become westernized Europeans or Negro-Europeans. We have to be on alert. We have to be cautious. We have to be careful when the craftiness of a devil can speak in your ear and cause an itch for you to tingle so that you feel as though that you're important because he then sized you up with him. Let's listen what Grandmaster Jay has to say.
That's my intent, and I listen carefully as good as I can. I'm getting old now. I don't hear like I used to, especially with a lot of background noise. But what you stated just a few moments ago, although I could not repeat it verbatim, I believe I heard you, Lima Charlie, and I would say I concur with everything that you said. And perhaps we can meet. I'll return, just clarify, I'm in D.C. Our schedule is somewhat unknown to me and to everybody here, because it's quite a contentious time in the House of Representatives. And I do not control the schedule, the voting schedule. We are, according to the schedule, we should conclude voting this week on Friday afternoon or evening, which would put me on a flight home Friday night or Saturday morning. That's normal, because I do not live here. I stay in my office, and I don't have a place up here. My home and my family is in South Louisiana, and I return to Louisiana every weekend after my obligations are concluded here. So the bottom line is I should be back in Louisiana on Friday night. That's kind of a 90%. That's my schedule. It's the best I can tell you right now.
Congressman, Congressman, I'm going to go ahead and jump in there. You said so much. You said a mouthful, and it's all good words I'm hearing here. I'm glad to hear you say these things. They restore my confidence in the hope that we're looking at the end of a dark tunnel. I too will be in Lafayette along with the NFAC for a peaceful and successful celebration of solidarity with my people. And you and I could find some time to sit down, Congressman, and have a discussion. We could make those things happen that you just said. I would hope that you would make yourself available you would be more than welcome to come out to this very peaceful event where we're encouraging voter registration and encouraging solidarity in the community, while at the same time exercising our constitutional rights. You'll find that you would be most welcome there. At the same time, I too will be arriving in your city somewhere around the same time. That you have a direct contact number toward me. I can be reached through.
This is Mr. Johnson, let me, in the interest of respect to you, sir, how shall I address you? Shall I address you as sir, Mr. Johnson, or do you prefer your due title of Grandmaster Jay? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Well, Congressman, I don't want to be disrespectful to you either, but just out of, in the military, we're always told when in doubt, give them the highest rank until someone tells you different. Because and I've made that mistake quite a few times. So out of respect for the position that you hold in the House of Representatives, I addressed you for the due respect of the position that you hold as the Supreme Commander of the NFAC and this entire militia. For the sake of us getting to a point where we're comfortable, I throw away titles. You know how we do in the military, we're by last name. In this particular instance, I'm not going to call you Clay, and if you call me Jay, they're going to think we're hanging out together. So what we're going to do here is you're going to stay Mr. Higgins, and I'll stay Mr. Johnson, and no one gets confused.
Yeah, that's perfectly cool. Again, I just want to be respectful. So, listen, we could meet. I'm happy to have you in my home. I have an office in my home, and I would welcome you there. Or I will come to the area where your organization will be gathering. And by the way, last week, I don't know if anyone will ever tell you this, but what I'm about to share is the truth. Last week, when it was made clear to me the way who you were, because there was confusion, and the way you were communicating, I stated to the mayor's office there was some question about granting a permit, and I said that I recommend they grant the permit because you're presenting your organization for peaceable assembly. You're following all the laws. We're seeking a permit, and as a constitutionalist that supports freedom of assembly to peaceably redress grievance, including observing Second Amendment rights within that jurisdictional authority, which in Louisiana means open carry. I personally advised the mayor's office when there was some debate within that organization about granting a permit. I said, if they want to know my opinion, I don't have the authority to do so, but if I did, I would absolutely grant the permit regardless of any objection, because you're either a constitutionalist or you're not. So my point is, on Saturday, you would be welcome into my home, or I will come to Lafayette proper and meet wherever you designate. And let me clarify that although regarding Second Amendment rights, although I am always armed, I'm quite well known for that, and I am a commissioned post-certified peace officer. I've maintained that certification since 2004. Because of this beautiful moment that we potentially have, I will only be armed with the Lord's word. The King James Version is my preferred word, and I respect yours, sir, and what God you worship and how. I do not know, but I just want you to know that I will be quite contrary to like a normal day for me. I'm armed at all times, but to meet with you, of course, I recognize your Second Amendment rights. Be armed in every earthly manner, and I have no problem with that, including into my home. But I will only be armed with the spiritual weapon that pierces the heart and soul of me, including my own. Failed and fallen though I be, I rely upon the word for my guidance. And sometimes I'm wrong. Yeah, I've been wrong many times in my life, and this is where leadership surfaces from the hearts of the spirits. To me, it's derived in its most pure form from the Lord's word to us. So I'm willing to meet with you in my home, or I will come to where you are by myself. Normally I have staff drive me, but the Lord put it on my heart to offer to meet with you anywhere, in any way, including in my home, in Lafayette on Saturday, if you would be willing. And I will have, I will be heavily armed with 1,483 words. pages, 1,483 pages.
Congressman.
All right. So here again, the game. You got to understand the game. He knows everything about Grandmaster Jay. He tried to make it seem like he was unaware of Grandmaster Jay until he was informed. Then that they give him information about him, he feels calm and he feels like he can sit down with him across the table, invite him into his house. He's not going to be armed. Yeah, he's not going to be armed. But what about those security around him? He says something very important that you have to understand. He is a certified police officer, recognized in his state of Louisiana. What does that mean? That means there are a lot of people who support this guy. Of course, he's a congressman, was voted into office. But he has not just the so-called residents, but he also has the police. He may not come armed, only with the word of God. But who else is going to be armed? That's the issue. Now, is this a setup? I don't think it's a setup to a sense of setting him up to kill him, but I'm telling you to set him up to kill him spiritually. All right? We have to wake up and understand when we're dealing with people that has a history of continuous abuse, a continuous neglect for people, a continuous disregard for people, who has a behavior that is like savages, who overlooks every type of race out here besides themselves, that has only a concern about their capitalistic ways of life. By any means necessary to get to the top where they want to get, they will bring 1,000 of their own down. If you don't understand this history, then you don't know who you're dealing with. You can be going to sit at the table with the devil. This is facts. And so hopefully Grandmaster Jay realized that this whole conversation is nothing but a smokescreen to probably diffuse a situation that possibly can happen in Lafayette, Louisiana. But as I'm looking here at my notes, we have to understand some things right here. To tame a beast, as they consider us to be, you play the violin. You massage their ego or massage their so-called spirituality. Bring them to the level of where you are. And that's down to the level of where they are. This whole lie about your achievements have always been based upon their accomplishments, where you feel as though that you have achieved because they have given you a so-called bar to meet. We have always used them as the example. We have always used them as the measuring stick, as a means to have been successful or have accomplished a goal. Why? One of the worst things that Martin Luther King ever did was to integrate. He said it himself. Look at one of my videos with Harry Belafonte stating that Martin Luther King stated he believes he's brought his people into a burning house. This America system has been always burning. America, these Europeans, they are all about division. They divide themselves up. They destroy each other. It is not that they all stick together. That is a lie. They are separatists. They divide and try to conquer individually or as groups, as cliques, as gangs. This is what they do. They do not stick together. Look at the government. Look how this United States is. It's all about division. Let's go listen what Grandmaster Jay has to say.
Yes, sir.
So I like the spin on it. I like the close. That was great. Here's what I'm going to say. Again, as you said before, the intended purpose of the existence of my organization is simply the protection and the education and the policing of my own people. No threat to anyone. And to find that we could find a middle ground between my organization and the United States government and any representative thereof. Power speaks to power, and I recognize there's a greater power above both of us. And if you're willing to put your life in the hands of he that placed us here, I can only respect that. And I would invite you to come out to Lafayette, to the Park San Sui. And if you would still have me in the home, I would be more than welcome. I'd be honored to set foot inside of your castle. However, I believe that you have work to do on the floor. I'll let you get back to it, exciting as it is. I too have ran for the presidency, so I know a little bit about the domestic doldrums that go on inside of that place. And I look forward to speaking to you once you land in Lafayette, Louisiana, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, excellent. And shall I, listen, this is my personal cell phone number, Mr. Johnson, and please store it in your phone and consider me at your avail. If you granted your permission, I will contact you towards the end of the week on Friday when I'm sure when I'm going to be there, and then you can tell me, you can instruct me when the best time is for me to come to your gathering, and I'll be by myself in the manner that I just described. I have total faith that this thing is in God's hands, and I've been very impressed with both your spirit and your focus, and your intellect, and by your conversation with me tonight, just by being willing to receive my call. It says a lot about your characters. So if it's okay with you, I'll contact you back on Friday, so we can arrange a more precise time for my arrival to meet with you. And between now and then, you're welcome to contact me or have your senior staff contact me, whichever you prefer.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you real soon, and I look forward to you contacting me upon your arrival for further clarification of our meeting and scheduling of times to arrive out at the formation. And I thank you for your time, and again, I look forward to talking to you real soon. Have a good evening, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you for giving the call. Good night.
Good night. Y'all don't know what's going on up in here. So, y'all remember the movie Get Out? Remember Get Out? Y'all remember the movie Get Out? Oh, hell no. In case y'all were wondering, that was Congressman Clay Higgins calling to extend the olive branch, and to say he will come to the formation as a show of goodwill. This is after a sitting congressman said that he would kill me and 10 of my members of the NFAC. Y'all ain't been paying attention to the story. It's been slowly getting worse. We're in new territory, people. You all have to understand what you're witnessing. A sitting congressman has had to apologize to Black Power.
So, in all that was said, we're going to see what Grandmaster Jay does. He has some decisions to make. My hat's off to him. Because having an interaction with this congressman may open doors up for other congressmen. But I'm here to tell you, I've seen it time and time again. Until we realize who we're dealing with, we're going to always be frustrated and mad. See, you can't hate somebody when you understand that's just how they are. These people here, they are controlling. They are domineering. They only care about themselves. They have a total disregard of us people who have dark skin. They are capitalists. They will do whatever it takes to get to the top. They will destroy their own. They have used this God, this Lord in Jesus' name, to go around conquering the world during the crusade eras. They have continued to use this name so that they can go ahead and make way to be able to continue to take advantage of people, countries, political powers. They have done all of these atrocities around the globe. We have seen the behavior. Ain't nothing changed. Now, if we want to think that we're going to get to a place and see the light at the end of the tunnel, the only way that I see it is go black to Africa or to any country that you feel that you may receive the respect that is due you. But until then, we can sit at tables and we can break bread and we can have conversations. One little congressman in one state, out of all that there are, don't make a hill of beans of a change. We need to wake up, people. The youth who are out there, you have to understand there is a history. Get to know your history. Study them. Study how they do. Study what has been done. And always remember, just because a man has your own skin color, don't make him a brother. Now, I hope that Grandmaster Jay, who he says he wants to go and stand in solidarity, exercise his Second Amendment right, will be down there and will do such. I believe it. I believe he will have his people in order. They will be standing at attention. They will be conducting themselves with much respect. But the all eyes on Bree is now in Lafayette. What's going to be the next state to march to? The next state to show guns without change. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.